Hi, Keith here from Academy Bass. Thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to show you how only two very simple musical tools will give you great mileage and help you play over anything. Hi, I wanted to share something with you that I came across in a recent practice session, and I thought it would make a really interesting lesson. Now, this lesson is going to be a little bit longer than usual because it's a lesson of two parts. In the first part, I'll be doing quite a bit of playing, and in the second part, we'll look at what I've played, and then we'll learn a couple of things that will really help you in your own playing. So I was working on a chord progression that's a really common chord progression and is used in lots of songs. I actually got it from a song called Senorita by Shawn Mendes. I'm not exactly sure why I was playing that song, but there you have it. It doesn't really matter. Now, the chord progression is really straightforward. It's A minor to C major to F major to E minor and finally G major. So it's nice and easy, and it's diatonic, which means that all the chords belong to the same key, and in this case it's A minor or C major. Now, what I've done with the chords is I've taken the progression and I've given them 5 different musical treatments, and what I mean by that is I've created 5 backing tracks in different styles, different tempos, and in one instance a different time signature. But the one thing that's constant throughout is the chord progression. Now, when we play music, the harmony is king, and as bass players it's our job to play over the chords and outline the harmony. Now, I've purposefully chosen not to play over any of these tracks before now, because I think that when we play things for the first time we react instinctively and we play what we know well, and I want you to see and hear that I'm using the same musical devices in every one of these pieces of music. Because I've not played any of these pieces before, it's going to be far from perfect, but I'm fine with that, and I'm going to be playing freely, reacting instinctively and taking some chances, so I may well overplay. The one other thing that I'm not going to do is I'm not going to try in any way to play authentically to the style or the idiom of any of these tracks. What I am going to do though is do my best to play inside the harmony, and by that I mean only play notes that fit the chord, and I'm going to try as hard as possible not to play any chromatic passing notes or anything like that. I can't promise that, but I'll do my best. So here's the first piece, and it's very similar to the original track by Shawn Mendes, probably a little bit more relaxed. Hope you like it. A minor to C. I'm just feeling my way around the chord progression. To F, to E minor and G. This next one's a little bit faster and busier. It's in the style of dirty loops. This one's a little bit more relaxed and it's in the style of reggae. Here we have something that's not dissimilar to a jazz standard. Here's the last one, and it's a funk thing, but it's in 3 and not 4. Thanks for listening to my playing, and apologies for any mistakes. Let's go back to the chord progression and then we can pick out some of the things that I played. So the chords, A minor, C, F, E minor and G. If we analyse them, there are only 2 types of chord, major and minor. So what do we need to do to learn how to play over them properly? Well, it's quite simple. We need to learn the arpeggios. If you don't know what an arpeggio is, it's the notes in the chord played in sequence. Now, I could talk all day about arpeggios, and I may well do in another lesson, but for now, I'm just going to summarise them. So, major arpeggio, we've got root, 3rd and 5th. So, root, 3rd, 5th. We can take it up to the octave, which is just the root note. So we've got, now we can play that a different way, because this pattern takes us across the strings. We've got a pattern that takes us up the strings, and that is root, third, fifth. Now when I play this, I tend to play it like that, because it's a bit more friendly under the hand. So we've got and the minor arpeggio. Similar formula, root, third and fifth, but this time it's a root, flattened third and fifth. We start with our first finger. We'll play on the A minor, root, flattened third and fifth. We can play this a different way too. We can play it play that again. So we've got major and minor. So there's something else also that will give us tons of musical ammunition and will help us play and sound better over major and minor chords. And they are the major pentatonic, which is the perfect fit for any major chord, and also the minor pentatonic, which likewise is the perfect complement for any minor chord. Now, I've already done a quick lesson on the major pentatonic, so I'll post the link to that, but really quickly I'm going to whiz through this, okay? So major pentatonic, it's a 5-note scale, going to start on C again, and we've got, we can take it to the octave again. Now if we superimpose the major arpeggio on that, we can see that the major arpeggio takes up 3 of the 5 notes in the scale, so there's not an awful lot to learn. And likewise, we've got a pattern that will take us up the neck, so we can play so we've got and the minor pentatonic. We're back to A minor, and quite simply it's this. We'll add the octave, so we get, and we can also play this a different way. We can play, so I'm going to go back to the pop version of the track for Senorita, and really quickly we'll play the arpeggios and the pentatonic scales over the top, so you can hear what they sound like and you can start practicing them yourself. We'll start with A minor, C major, F major, E minor, G major, A minor, C major, F major, E minor, G major, other pattern A minor, C major, F major, E minor, G major. So what I'd like to do now is look at some of the things that I played over the tracks, and I think what we'll find is that by and large it was major and minor arpeggios and major and minor pentatonic scales. But let's have a little look. So the first chord, A minor, pretty much every time I played it I started with something like that, which is right out of the minor pentatonic. And even when I went up the octave and played up there, I tended to do the same thing. So that's a really, really good start. Now, when I went to C, I think every time virtually I played something like, that is a major pentatonic scale. And when I hit the F, whilst I might have started here a lot, I think quite often I went. I hope you recognise that as the major arpeggio. And then with the E, minor pentatonic, and then G, and back to A. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to the pop version of the Senorita track and play a couple of things and see if I can talk you through this. C major pentatonic, F major arpeggio, E, G, arpeggio, pentatonic C major, F major, arpeggio, E minor, G, that was a minor pentatonic, C major pentatonic, So there you have it. I hope it's given you plenty of ideas. I've posted a link to a workbook below. It's got all the theory, all the explanations, a ton of exercises and some really good ideas to help you work through this. There's also a link to each of the 5 backing tracks, so feel free to grab them and use them as you wish. I'm currently releasing a video every single week, so please keep an eye out for them. Feel free to subscribe or hit the bell notification. That way you won't miss out on anything. Look forward to seeing you next time, and in the meantime, happy practicing.